Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's John and I am the Makeup Man. So today is quite a fun day for me. I am filming a full face using MAC Cosmetics. Now you might know this, you might not. Depends whether you follow me on social or whether or not we've known each other for a while. But I used to work for MAC. I worked for them for quite a long time, over 9 years. And I was actually part of the training team. I was what they would call a resident trainer. So it was my job to develop customer service, product knowledge and artistry within several doors within the Northwest region. And it was the dream job. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And in that time of resident training, I got to support the senior artists backstage at London Fashion Week, and various other events, body painting events, in-store events. I supported Share Web with Alexandra Steiner's launch of her lipstick, collaborator lipstick in Harvey Nichols Liverpool. So I gained lots of experience with MAC. I've also worked with Dominic Skinner. You guys might know him from BBC Three's Glow Up with Val Garland and Stacey Dooley. An amazing show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's absolutely awesome. If you're someone who enjoys makeup or someone who wants to start doing makeup, the guys on this show, some of them aren't even full, working makeup artists. Some of them have other full-time jobs and makeup's just a passion. So it's really lovely to see how the show helps them develop and brings out the best in them. So it's a really cool show to watch. I recommend you go see it, watch it. But without further ado, let's get cracking and let's get on with it. So, first things first, I've already done my brows and filled in my beard, and I used the False Lash Maximizer from MAC to run through my brows to groom them, and then I coloured them in with the Shape and Shade brow tint in the colour Stud. Then I'm going to go in with MAC's Iconic Strobe Cream. You can see that. I hope it's not too bright. In Peach Light. This is a really lovely moisturizer. It's got a time release formula. So it's going to release hydration into the skin throughout the whole day, making sure the skin stays really plump, it stays really comfortable. It just feels really looked after and conditioned. And regardless of whether your skin is oily or too dry, it can never be too hydrated, and this is what this is going to do. It's also got a grape extract in there to help increase the skin's natural radiance over time, and this one has a lovely soft peach pearlized pigment, so it's going to add a real soft glow to the skin as well. So I've just taken that in my hand, and I like to massage these products in with my hand as opposed to a brush. I just feel you get a better result. And these come in different colorways. You can get the original pink light, peach light, you can get red light, silver light, gold light, all depending on what kind of hue you want to give the skin, but also your own natural skin tone. I know red light works beautifully on a darker, deeper skin tone, and someone that might have a South Asian skin, gold light and peach light work really, really well. And if you're pale and interesting like me, peach light works well, so does pink light. And there's silver light as well. Silver light's great for a very fair skin. It's going to add a luminosity, it's going to add a real vibrant kick. It just smells like MAC. It just takes me back many, many years ago when Strobe Cream came in much different packaging and it only came in one colour. I do believe in their summer collection as well, because they do Strobe body lotion. They do one in pink light, and I do believe you can get a new one in a bronzy tone in the summer collection, so it's definitely worth checking out. After that, I am going to go straight on to eye makeup, actually, because this is going to work as a primer for me as well. So I'm going to let that sit for a while. I'm going to go and work on my eyes, because I'm going to do a slightly darker eye. I'm going to do them first, so should I have any fallout, I can wipe that away without, disturbing any makeup. So I'm going to take a MAC 217 brush, this one here, auto-focusing, and I'm going to take MAC's Pro Longwear Paint Pot in a colour called Groundwork. There we go. And I'm literally just going to take that onto my brush, like so, and then I'm just going to work that over the lid from the lash line and kind of take it up through the socket as well. But I'm not taking it all the way up to the brow. Now this has what's called film formers built into it, so it's going to adhere to the skin, making sure it's really long lasting, so whatever you put on top is also going to last the whole day, the whole night, the whole time you're just sat in your living room watching Netflix because we can't really go out yet. Okay, and I've just put a little bit underneath my eye as well, just to, I'm going to shuffle closer, just to give a base of the shadow that I'm going to put underneath. Now after that, I'm going to go in with an eye pencil to create more depth. So I'm going in with MAC Eye Kohl, and this is called Foxy Lady. There we go. It's like a reddy brown. And what I'm going to do is just scribble that right into the lash line, all over the lid, and do kind of little spiky down lines because they're easier to blend as opposed to lines that go across. And because my lid is slightly hooded, I'm going to take it slightly higher than the socket line. That's my top tip for a slightly hooded eye, because it means you're going to see the colour. And then I'm just going to go back in with my 217 fluffy blending brush and kind of blend that onto the lid and then up into the socket, like so, and then just soften off that edge and blend it into the paint pot like that. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to take that underneath the eye as well. And taking the same fluffy brush, blend that under the eye. Like so. Now, for my transition colour, what I'm going to do is take a MAC 221 brush, small fluffy one, and MAC eyeshadow in a colour called Soft Brown. As you can see, it's a really muted brown shade. It works beautifully as a transition colour. So what I'm going to do is take that, I'm going to look down into my mirror, and I'm just going to blend that through the socket line, and that's going to be halfway onto the pencil and halfway onto the lid. So just as that pencil meets the lid, or just after the socket, the shadow is then going to soften it out even more, so we get a really beautiful soft blend like that. And then repeat that process under the eye. There we go. So we're getting a really soft, beautiful muted blend. Okay, so I have just blended through Soft Brown, through the socket and underneath the eye, just to kind of marry that all together. Then what I'm going to do is take a MAC 239 brush, which is like flat paddle eyeshadow brush. Look at this audio zoom to work properly. Let me know whether or not you can see those products, guys, in your comments below. And I'm going to use an Extra Dimension eyeshadow. Now, I decanted mine a couple of years ago. but they come singularly. And I'm going to use this gorgeous mauvey colour here. You can see that. Now I love the texture of these eyeshadows because they're really creamy, but they're a powder and they blend beautifully. And I'm going to use that mauvey colour now on top of that Foxy Lady eye pencil. And I'm going to press it along, just along the lash line, and then work it up onto the kind of mobile lid, so the bit of the eyelid that moves when our eyes open and close. And the reason I've gone for these colour wave is because I've got hazel eyes, so anything that's got a purpley undertone, a hint of red, is really going to make the green in my eyes stand out more than the brown, because red and green are opposite each other on a colour wheel, so they're complementary. And then taking the little brush that I used to blend that soft brown to the socket line, and using that just to blend out that extra dimension eyeshadow into the rest of the makeup, like so. And I'm just going to repeat that process under the eye as well, and then go in with the little brush and blend that out. I love the faces people pull with makeup. It's like, I have some bizarre makeup faces. I'm now going to take Feline Eye Kohl, which is a Kohl Power Pencil, obviously well loved because mine's nearly all gone, and it's black. And I just want to pop that in the waterline and through the lash line and blend it out, just to add a little bit more smoke and intensity. If you wanted a slightly less dramatic, I suppose, or a softer smoke, you could use Coffee Pencil's really good from MAC. It's like a really deep, rich brown. It does the same job. It's going to add definition around the eye shape, but without being too intense. And then I'm just going to take that pencil and run it along that lash line. And then going to take a MAC 219 brush, which is this one here. It's a pencil brush. And then I'm just going to blend that Kohl Power pencil along the lash line. So we get definition, we get a bit of smoke, we don't lose that lovely mauvey tone that we've created with the Foxy Lady pencil and the extra dimension eyeshadow. And then repeat that underneath the eye as well. Told you, crazy makeup faces. And then I go back in with that 221 brush. I don't add any product onto it, I just use it to soften off that blend. There we go. Mascara time. So my favourite mascara to use from MAC is an Extreme Dimension mascara. Now this brush has a plastic moulded brush, so the firm hard, it's a hard plastic brush. There are 3 wells where there are no bristles, which means it holds the maximum amount of mascara at any one time. So you don't have to keep dunking into your mascara to load up the brush to get the effect that you want from the mascara. This is going to add lots of volume. It's going to define the lashes slightly, but it is more of a volumizing mascara. And when you're doing your lashes, it's like styling your hair. So if you wanted more of a feline shape to the makeup, or accentuate the almond shape of the eye, you do all your mascara application to the outer corner. I want more of a fanned out look, so the inner lashes are going to come forward, like so. The outer lashes will go out the way, and then the inner corner lashes will go in towards the face. Now, this mascara is lovely because it does contain conditioning ingredients, so it's going to help nourish the lash at the same time. So it's not going to leave the lashes feeling dry and brittle. It's going to set down, but it's not going to make them feel like they're made of, I don't know, wood. But you can see how nice it's made those lashes. Okay, I'm just going to go back in with my pencil brush and just blend that eye color on the outer corner a little bit because I feel like I want to give it a little bit more oomph. There we go. And then go back in with the blending brush just to soften that off. Like so. Cool. That's where I'm going to leave the eyes for now. I'm going to do my other eye off camera, if you're wondering why I'm not doing it at the same time. Okay, so I'm back and I've just done my other eye off camera, and now I'm going to go on to skin. So I am starting with some MAC Studio Fix Fluid. This is a medium full coverage foundation. It has optical diffusers in there, so it's going to smooth out the look of the skin. And it also is going to leave you with a natural matte finish, which means it's not going to look completely matte and powdered, but it's not going to be dewy and satin. It's just going to look like a skin that's matte as opposed to oily. And it's got, like I said, a nice medium full coverage, so it's really buildable. If you use a kind of like a brush like this, you can build the layers and get a lighter application. I'm going to go in with the beauty sponge because I want a full application straight away, but then I am going to go in and soften off with that, but you'll see in a moment. And I've also added in some MAC Face and Body Bronze FX, so it's basically a bronze coloured face and body foundation, sheer coverage, more of a satin finish or a dewy finish, sweat proof, humidity proof. So the Studio Fix will last 24 hours. This is going to last up to 8 hours to 12 hours wet. And I've added that a little bit of that in because for me this is bronze. I'm not a person who wears fake tan, but because of the lovely weather we had recently, I caught a bit of sun, so an NW20 on it, so it might look a little bit pale. So I've mixed a bit of that in there with it. So I'm going to take my beauty sponge and I am going to start applying this in the centre of the face and then work my way out because I want most of the coverage to be in the centre. And then just blending that out with the sponge. Now it is slightly damp. It's not a wet beauty sponge. I'm not a big fan of having a really wet sponge for some reason. I like it just to be, well, put it this way, it got washed yesterday. And it's however damp it still is now, is how damp I'm using it. So I haven't re-moistened it at all. Onto the FOD. Now I tend not to build too much coverage up in the centre of my forehead. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I have lines like the Grand Canyon. So I tend to build up the coverage on the extremities and then take a little bit of the product on the sponge and blend that across. Don't really need much coverage on the forehead. I have pigmentation around here and here, so this is where I need the coverage the most, in the centre and the sides, but up here I don't, so I tend to not to put too much product there because it tends to move and sit. And it's not the foundation's fault, it's just the way my face is, my skin is, and how deep the lines are. It's a man thing, I think. And take a little bit into here as well, for those of us that have to do that. I just love this foundation. It is one of my all-time faves, and yeah, maybe I'm slightly biased because I worked for MAC for so long, but I just haven't come across one that is Like it. There's similar, and they're good. Like Nip Fab, their foundation is pretty cool. It's almost like a dupe for this, but it's just not as much coverage. MAC really hit the nail on the head with this one. Can you see what I mean? It still looks like skin. Now that shine, I have got a ring light on me, so it's emphasising that more than it would normally. Like I said, it's not a completely powdered finish, but it will matte down slightly more than what it has now. Plus, I've got to put powder and bronzer and everything else on yet. Concealer-wise, I'm going in with Studio Fix 24 Hour Wear Smooth Wear Concealer. Medium buildable coverage. It has been compared to the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Haven't used that an awful lot. I've used it a few times. I do like it. I just prefer the texture and blendability of this one and the colour range, if I'm honest. So I'm going to take a bit of this and just kind of sweep it on the inner corner and up that way. Then I'm going to go in with the MAC 286 brush, which is a duo fibre blending brush. And I'm going to blend that in. And I'm going to use that almost like to soften off the edge of the makeup underneath the eye and at the sides. And then what I like to do is kind of blend it up onto the brow and use it almost like a cream highlighter. Just soften off the edges of the makeup. I've got this weird like vein in my eyelid, so it makes like the eyeshadow standing out more than what it actually is. Especially because I've used a more reflective texture. Okay, repeat that. See how it's kind of softened off under the eye compared to that one? It's just a little trick I like to do. That's what I like about YouTube, because you can just share tips and tricks with each other. Like, I've learned so much from people on YouTube. I hope people will learn something from me. I don't know. I don't do... Well, it's not I don't do. I've yet to do a makeup that's Instagram inspired, you know the one I mean? These beautiful, beautiful makeups with bold liners and colours. I will do them, because I think they're amazing. But I like doing this makeup as well. Simple but effective. Really beautifully blended. I mean, P. Louise comes out with some incredible makeup looks. Her academy, the people she's got teaching for her, unreal. Just incredible. That's what I like about makeup. It's no set rules. You don't have to do it like anyone else. They can inspire you, absolutely, but do it how you want to do it. Do what makes you feel comfortable. Okay. And then I go back in with my beauty sponge and just blend the rest of that. Only because I don't want it to be too stark. I don't want it to be too bright. And that colour was NW24 in the concealer. And the foundation was NW20. Mixed with bronze. Face and Body Bronze Effects. Okay. I'm not putting lashes on with this look either. I wanted it to be quite soft. But if I was, I would have gone for something that's a bit more lengthening and defining as opposed to volumizing. Now I'm going to take a good old faithful MAC Studio Fix. Oh, trying to do it one-handed. MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation in NW20 and on a 240 brush, which is like a large blending brush. I'm just going to tap that down my side, my nose and centre of my forehead, just to mattify where I tend to look. I mean, I like a glow to the skin, but there's a glow. The difference between looking glowy and then looking like you've just done a spin class, and that's not the look I'm going for. Plus, this helps to minimise the look of texture in the skin. We'd used it a lot in menswear at London Fashion Week on the male models to smooth out some skin. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with bronzer. And I'm using a colour called by Anna Bronze. I don't think you can get this anymore. It was a summer collection a couple of years ago. But it was just such a lovely tone for me, not too dark. Quite cool toned. And I'm taking it on a flat, don't know, the numbers come off, sorry guys, but a flat paddle foundation brush. No, powder brush, sorry. And I'm just going to work that under the cheekbone a little bit. And through the temple. Just like so. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit through the hairline. Nothing too dramatic. Something I've learned filming in 4K as well, that what might look natural and soft in the mirror can look really heavy and dark on the camera. So it's about getting the right product and application. But I'll also be posting pictures on the thumbnail on my social media. So MUA_pro is my Instagram, and that's where I'll post makeup looks I don't always film. But I'll always post a picture of the thumbnail so you get to see the look without the 4K and the ring light, because it can look slightly different. It doesn't look too bad in the mirror. We'll see how that translates though when it comes to editing. Blusher wise, I'm going to take the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Blush the MAC Mineralized Blush, they're called Warm Soul. This is a really beautiful neutral brown tone blusher, not too heavy. I'm going to take the same brush, smile a little bit and just take that off the apples of the cheek, like so. Then I'm going to go in with the MAC 139 brush, Duo Fiber, and just kind of blend everything. Seems like a bit of a crazy step, but I'm not putting too much pressure on the brush. I'm just letting the tips do their magic. Then I'm going to go in with MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, Soft and Gentle, another iconic product from MAC. This is a highlighter. It's a lovely pink champagne tone. Same powder brush. I'm just going to tickle that on the high planes of the cheek. And that's going to leave a really beautiful sheen to the skin. That's what I like about the Mineralized Skin Finish as a highlighter. It's going to leave a sheen as opposed to a glitter or a sparkle. I'm actually going to keep that highlighter. Take a 224 brush from MAC, obviously. And I'm just going to work that onto the brow bone as well as my brow highlighter. Then I'm going to go back in with my 217 brush and just re-establish that socket colour, blending it into the highlight colour and underneath the eye. So. And then on a clean 219 pencil brush, I can take that same highlighter and I'm going to highlight the inner corners of the eye, like so. And then to finish that look, I'm going to take MAC Strip Down Lip Pencil. There's this colour here. And I'm just going to line the lips naturally. I'm not overdrawing or anything. Just following. Natural lip shape. To give a slightly more defined lip. And then my lipstick is going to be a Viva Glam lipstick. This was a palette I picked up a few years ago. You can still get all these colours, I think, apart from 5 and 6, I think. I'm going to use Viva Glam 2, which for me is the perfect nude lip colour. It's like a tone naturally found in the lip, so it just naturally beautifies what's already there. It's a great bridal lipstick. And I'm just going to take a MAC 288, I think. It was a limited edition one with the Kabuki collection. And smooth that onto my lips. This is more a satin finish, so it's not too matte, but it's not super shiny. Now the beauty of the Viva Glam lipsticks is 100% of the selling price, minus the VAT, goes to the MAC AIDS Fund. So, for example, one lipstick will pay for 2 party packs from an orphan of AIDS, which means they're going to receive birthday and Christmas presents, which is incredible. It also pays for 28 rapid HIV tests in the Caribbean. And I know that they have also been donating money from the MAC AIDS Fund to COVID relief efforts across the world as well. So they're little lifesavers. It was always a passion of mine when I worked for MAC, was the Viva Glam lipsticks. It made me feel like a real superhero because I was saving lives just by selling lipstick and buying them. We never used to get our staff discount on them, but I'd still always buy them because why wouldn't you? And that, oops, that, guys, is the finished look. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Like I said, this is new for me, this journey. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you are too. Please do feel free to leave a comment down below of anything you'd like to see or what you thought of the video. Constructive criticism is welcome. However, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't do anything to help me. It doesn't do anything to help you either. So please remember to like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll get notification of every time I upload a video, so you don't miss it. And I can't wait to start creating more content for you all. So until then, be safe, look after each other. But I look forward to interacting with you all and maybe sharing some more tips and tricks along the way. So until then, peace out.